Hey everyone, and welcome to the RDG Sports Channel with your boy RDG. We are in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in and watching me. Enjoying doing this for you guys. I know I haven't done it in a while, but hey, it is what it is. I'm back, and I couldn't ignore it. I pondered on it. I was busy and stuff like that, but I'm back now. Hey, those new uniforms, as y'all see what I got going on in the background, they are fire. When I tell you, I was ecstatic. When I seen those uniforms, man, I couldn't believe it. I said, no, they didn't. And they did. And I was ecstatic, man. And I couldn't believe in my wildest of dreams that I would actually see the black uniforms with the burgundy and gold piping. You know, it's not entirely burgundy and gold. Is kind of more like a reddish color, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I love it. They the best uniforms in the league to me, and I ain't being biased. I've looked at everybody uniforms, the Rams, the Packers, the Jaguars. I love all those. The Raiders, silver and black. It's got that nostalgia, you know. The Chicago Bears uniforms. I love them because they're old. The Giants uniforms, the Eagles uniforms, the San Diego Chargers uniform, the Atlanta Falcons. How could I forget about the Atlanta Falcons uniforms? They all are great uniforms, you know, but this particular one, the black one, the black one stands out above all. And I say Josh Harris and those guys, man, they hit the nail. They hit the head on the nail of the head and the head on the nail or whatever you want to call it. They hit it. They hit the bullseye. They hit it and they nailed it to a T. You know, from even the burgundy jerseys with the helmet and the big fonts on the jerseys, which gives me chills because I remember back as a kid and I was watching Dexter Manley. How he used to just cause havoc. And all I used to see is the back of his jersey. That 72 sacking the likes of Danny White, Phil Simms, Randall Cunningham, you name it. You know, he sacked them. And all I kept saying was 72. And later on, Charles Mann came. I kept saying those big giant numbers, 71. And everybody back then had big numbers and stuff like that. It takes me back to the 80s. It gives me an 80s feel, but they made it a little bit more modern. And that's why I appreciate it. They don't have the long sleeves. I was watching the podcast and they had in Santana Moss and what's the other guy name? You had my man Freddie Smoot and Paulson. They was interviewing Doug Williams and they joked with him about the sleeves. And he said, that's okay. I'll just go ahead and give me a short undershirt to wear underneath of it. I thought that was hilarious, man. I was like, I remember when Doug Williams was I remember watching the Super Bowl back in 86, the Denver Broncos and the Washington Redskins at the time. And I remember Doug Williams, those big, long sleeves, those gigantic sleeves that he had on. And you think back on it, it's funny now, but back then, all we was doing was winning. So you didn't think about how long the sleeves were back then, you know, but now they brought that back minus the long sleeves. It's got the same feel to it as when they won the Super Bowl. You know, that same uniform they wore when they won the Super Bowl. Those are the uniforms right there. Brian Mitchell said it best. That's it. They nailed it. You know what I'm saying? That's the exact uniform. Those are the exact colors of the uniform. And to bring that back with the gold and white piping stripes on the helmet, it just gives me chills, man. And it makes me, I can't wait to tune in this season. It makes me, because I haven't been to the stadium in a long time and I can't stand that stadium. And I'll be glad when they build a new one over at RFK. And it make me want to go to the game again just because of the uniforms. Just because of that feeling that I have as a teenager and as a kid when we was dominating, you know, and it makes me want to go back. to those days and make me want to relive those moments. You know how everybody, just like when Harris bought the team, it reminded him of his childhood. That reminded me of my childhood when we were relevant and we were winning. So, of course, I got some type of bias towards those uniforms. But that black one, I'm not being biased about that. That black one stands out. That black one is an elite style uniform. You know, I don't know if any college team can rival it. Any high school team can rival it. I don't know if any other team in the NFL can rival that black one right now, unless they roll out. Somebody else do a rollout next year or the year after that or the year after that or whatever the case may be. But that particular uniform right now is going to carry the wave of being the best uniform in the NFL until another team do their unveil and roll out a new uniform. But I mean, that uniform, man, I just can't get enough of it, man. You know, and then you got the white, and you can style it up so many different ways. You can wear the burgundy on burgundy, the burgundy with white pants, the burgundy with gold pants, the white with the burgundy, the all whites, the white with the burgundy, the gold pants, and it can even jazz it up by getting a gold helmet with the red W with the red spear going through it. And let's talk about the spirit. I've been saying things about the reservation, the Indian committee or whatever is talking about they're calling it a arrow. It's not an arrow, it's a spear. Something like the Romans, like you seen the movie 300. It reminded me of that. You know what I'm saying? More so of a spear. A spear is like a wooded type of ordeal with a metal piece, pointed arrow on it. You know, this is more like copper or steel or whatever material is made out of, metal or whatever it's made out of, and the whole thing is that, you know, versus, and it's longer. Arrow is, it's like a shorter, so it looks more like if you look at it, it looks more like a spear to me versus an arrow. And then the commanders came out and said it was a spear. You know, there was more like those ancient Roman days, you know, those gladiators and stuff like that. So I'm leaning more because, you know, you got to be careful with things like that. So they're not just going to put something up and, you know, you're going to face a lot of backlash from it. Why would you be insensitive? And, you know, that's not being smart. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't think these guys, this is a first class group. I don't think these guys move without being strategic. You know what I'm saying? And having a sense of awareness of what it may happen and could happen. So I don't think those guys will go out and intentionally do something that can harm the brand, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So they're very intentional. So I don't think they would do something with malicious intentions to try to ruffle some feathers. No pun intended on that battle. You know, it's a bar. Anyway, yeah, man, I just wanted to come on here and really touch on these uniforms. To me, phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really have no qualms about the uniform. You know what I'm saying? They're phenomenal. They came with great taste. They had good intentions. You could tell they really took their time with this and did it the right way. I'm in love with the uniforms, man. You know, and I'm pretty sure. And other teams around the league, I mean, other players around the league have spoken highly. I've seen the tweets. I've seen stuff on social media where the other team players was giving the commanders their props on that, especially on those black uniforms. And I like what the Yami Brown said. He said, "You're going back to the old joints, huh?" Yeah, they went back to the old joints, the Yami, and they pretty fantastic to me, man. You know what I'm saying? I love them, man. So, you know, I just wanted to come on here and touch bases with the people that's still subscribe to me. I wish to get the other ones back. Come on back, man. Come on back. I need you guys back, man. You know what I'm saying? But I want to get back in the algorithm, and how I get back in the algorithm is that you guys hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If you like this video, hit a like, share it. Get this video out. You know what I'm saying? I need my core audience back. You know what I'm saying? My day ones that's been riding with you. Y'all always be, y'all that to me. So yeah, the people who had left, I want you back. I understand you guys want steady content, and sometimes in life, other things, you got to handle other things in life. You can't always sit in front of a computer. I wish I can be one of those Commanders contenters, that could be right here, and this is my job. This is how I make my income and stuff like that. I wish I can be dedicated like some of those other guys, and I'm not knocking those guys. Those guys do a great, fantastic job. Even I'm fans of those guys. I be watching those guys, man, and I love what they do. And I wish I can be just like those guys, with just being dedicated to the craft, and just all day long, I'm just reporting about Commanders, eat, sleep, Commanders. But unfortunately, in my life, the way my life is constructed, I'm unable to do that. So shout out to those guys. I'm a huge fan of the Big Four. You guys know who I'm talking about. You know who the Big Four is. You know, I watched those guys for years, man. Those guys do a great, fantastic job on keeping us informed, and all the accolades those guys get, they are well deserved. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm a huge fan of those guys, and they keep us up to date. Besides the national people like the JPs and the Brian Mitchells and the sports junkies, and you know the Command Center and all those guys. Those guys are my next thing. Sometimes those are my go-tos. Sometimes I pick those guys first, you know, to get the news, because they give it to you so fast. That's why I say those guys do a fantastic job. And I wish I can be a Redskin content creator that can give you on the spot, in depth, behind the scenes stuff and stuff like that. If I was more dedicated, and if I made this my number one thing to do, I think I would be probably up there with those guys. But in the meantime, between time, I'm trying to just carve out my own niche, and I'm being transparent with you guys as much as possible, because I know my last video was months and months and months ago, and I apologize to you guys for that. I'll try to do better moving on, especially when the season starts. I'm gonna try to do a lot more than what I've been doing in the past years of providing you content. You know what I'm saying? I love doing this. That's the problem. And that's the head scratching part, is that I love creating content for you guys, but trying to find the time to really do it all the time. That's where my problem lies at, because my career that I have sometimes can be so demanding, and and then family, you know, all that takes away the time that it has for me to do this. But I really want to do this all the time, you know, but unfortunately, you know, I'll try to do better for you guys, but I need you guys to rock with me and still remain solid, because I'm going to remain solid with you guys. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in whenever you can. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much all I got. I just wanted to really give an explanation to why, because I've been gone. And I owe that to the people that's been asking me, been seeing me in public and asking me, hey, man, why you ain't making no more videos? You know, and I gave them some type of answer, but in my heart of hearts, you know, I know why. But sometimes you got to reveal stuff when it's the appropriate time. Anyway, with all that been said, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I always appreciate you guys for showing me love. With that being said, this is the RD Sports Channel. Peace.